Good morning, CJC 397 800 Constitutional Issues in Criminal Justice. I am Professor Rochlow and I'm the instructor for this class. I wanted to record a welcome video, walk through the syllabus and the assignments in Canvas with you before we get hit the ground running for this semester. So welcome to the fall semester, welcome to class. The first page of the syllabus kind of has all of our basic information, except for the classroom times. But my office is in North Quad 283. I can WebEx appointments with you if needed. We can meet in my office. My email's right here. Our course materials for this semester are a SkyPack course pack. This course pack is about $35. You can purchase it following the instructions in the announcement or through the campus bookstore. We are also going to be using Canvas, and then we are going to read the Just Mercy book by Brian Stevenson. So all of these are required materials for you. First thing on the syllabus is the diversity and inclusivity statements. I am committed to making sure that we see and hear from diverse speakers and points of view this semester, and that we all engage with each other respectfully. If you have any religious or cultural observances that will impact your ability to hit a due date, please let me know. If you have any accommodation statements, just let me know and we can figure out some accommodations to make sure that you successfully complete the class. The next little bit of the syllabus is some campus resources. Some of you are on, some of you are off, but if you are on campus, there's the Counseling Center, Learning Center, Cardinal Kitchen. These are just some general statements about conduct and guidelines. They apply here, but our primary course interactions are going to be through course journals, so we won't be having these large viewpoints. But in your course journals, please make sure you express yourself and that you understand you won't be marked down for having a different point of view from what you read or what you hear. In general, if you are going to miss an assignment or an exam, please let me know beforehand, and we can try to work something out. If you can't, still let me know, and depending on the circumstances, we may make alternate arrangements. Next on the syllabus is our academic dishonesty and plagiarism statement. I have a zero tolerance for plagiarism, so make sure you're doing your own work. Our departmental preferred consequence for cheating is for the student to receive an F in the class and a forwarding of the student's conduct to student affairs. Here are some examples of things that count as plagiarism: using the internet, buying the paper, not citing sources, copying and pasting from any source, things like that. Next up is kind of the course descriptions and rationale. This class is going to be focused on the Bill of Rights, and we are primarily going to spend our time talking about the 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution. So we're going to be talking about search and seizure, what that means, how it applies to different situations like your cell phone and drones. We're going to be talking about Miranda rights and when they actually need to be read. We're going to be talking about juries, and we're going to be talking a lot about sentencing, the death penalty, and cruel and unusual punishment. By the end of the class, you're going to be able to talk a lot about the Constitution, how these amendments work, and see how they influence the rest of the criminal justice system. This is a really important note right here. This class is a writing emphasis class. It will require you to write drafts and revise your work. And completed successfully, this course will fulfill that writing designation on your transcript. As part of the writing style, the writing emphasis, all the work submitted in this class should use APA format, and there's a link to Purdue OWL if you have questions. I've been writing a long time. I still double check everything every time. So let's get to where your grade is coming from. We will have weekly course journals due in this class. They're going to be due every week, and they are a pass-fail. Either you have included the information that should be present or you did not. If you have included it, it will be a pass. If you did not, it will be a fail. There are 11 different opportunities to turn in a course journal, but only 10 will be graded. So there is one chance to miss one, or if you get a fail, to have a do-over, essentially. This class is going to have a midterm and a final, and then we are writing an analysis paper since it's a writing class, which is worth the biggest part of your grade. As this, you're going to turn in an annotated bibliography in a few weeks with some sources and a brief description. Then an outline is due. I strongly encourage you the minimum is an outline for your paper, but I would strongly encourage you to submit a rough draft instead to get some extensive feedback before this big final draft worth 150 points is due. This is the grading scale I'll be using. And then down here is the agenda and materials that are due. So each week, and this is all in Canvas as well. It should be broken down fairly easy for you. When you look over this, the reading assignment and the specific cases being marked out, that means I expect this case to appear in your week 2 course journal, Pal vs. Alabama, Matt vs. Ohio. I expect a brief summary of the Just Mercy chapter. So those are kind of what is expected to appear in your journal. Okay, and then all deadlines and due dates are right here on the syllabus. If you have any questions, or you scroll through and you see, oh, the midterm is scheduled for this time and I can't take it, please let me know in advance. And I can try to be as flexible as possible, especially with notice. So next up, let's walk really quickly through our Canvas. There's a welcome page that will pop up every time you log in. The next thing that you will see are announcements. So here we have a welcome, just some suggestions to stay on track, to plan your time, to make sure you read the syllabus. This is really my very favorite class. I'm excited to be working with you guys on topics that I'm really passionate about. There's also an announcement with instructions on how to get the course pack, and an announcement with the link to the Just Mercy book by Brian Stevenson. You can use a Kindle version, or you can get a print version. It looks like this. We will be working through the whole book this semester, and your analysis paper is, because your analysis paper is going to feature from this book. Okay. Then you can scroll into modules. We have a Start Here module. This has our syllabus, again, the book information, the information about the writing requirements, and then Brian Stevenson gave a TED Talk not long after his Just Mercy book came out, and so there's a link to his TED Talk if you'd like to kind of see what he looks like and what he sounds like. The next module is all about the analysis paper and has all the due dates for the analysis paper. When you click on the annotated bibliography, it explains what I'm hoping to see, that you have a list of citations to Supreme Court cases, law reviews, journals, or academic documents in APA format, and that each citation is followed by a 150 to 200 word description of the citation. So try to be clear and concise, and just let me know what this source is and why it's going to help you. Then just additionally here, there's the steps you need to create your annotated bibliography. The first step is to locate your sources, which should include Just Mercy and your Supreme Court case, among other sources. Ideally, you would have one source per page. So in other words, you should cite Just Mercy, your Supreme Court case, and an additional 10 academic sources. Well, you want to make sure the second step is that you put your citations in APA format and that you write this concise summary of how you're going to use it. Again, if you have questions or you've never done one before, feel free to let me know. The next the next section is this outline. So the outline is my minimum expectation. I would strongly encourage you to take the time to write the rough draft. This is the template that I expect you to kind of include for as long as is needed. So general information, thesis statement, then each paragraph kind of tied into this format. Okay, so and I expect to see an outline that could be realistically expanded to that 10-page paper. But remember, ideally this is the minimum. I would strongly encourage you to turn in a rough draft. Okay, so the next part is the analysis paper guidelines. Here we have the analysis paper. This needs to be a well-written paper that's written and revised in advance of the due date. You will be writing an analysis paper examining the Just Mercy book and comparing and contrasting with one Supreme Court case. You should briefly summarize each work, but the goal is to kind of provide an analysis or an argument about your thoughts on these materials. So as you read and write about Just Mercy in your course journal, you should be thinking about how the book was written, how the author, how they're supporting their ideas, how the book impacts you and other readers. And you're going to compare that with your Supreme Court case listed right here. You may choose any one of these 6. And for here, you should be thinking about what are the facts, who are the parties, what is the outcome, and what's the rationale. The final paper is going to be a double-spaced 12-point font, 1-inch margin with strong grammar and correct use of proper nouns, APA citation with in-text citations, a reference sheet and title sheet, and be between 10 and 12 pages, excluding that reference and title sheet. So if you turn in an 8-page paper and page 9 is your title sheet and page 10 is your reference sheet, you will be marked down. And here, as you are thinking and working through the material, here are some topics and questions to think about. You're not required to use these, but if you get stuck or you're not sure, these are good places to jumpstart your thinking. Why did the author name his book Just Mercy? How should society address the relationship between poverty and crime? How can we protect children incarcerated in adult prisons from victimization? Should we be giving immunity to judges and prosecutors and police officers in the cases of wrongful convictions where those parties willfully engaged in illegal or unethical behavior? Should we use the death penalty? So those are some big picture questions to think about in this paper. As we get back into our modules, then you'll see the rest of the course is broken down to week by week. Each week has the reading assignment on the first page. So for week 1, this week, you're going to read your Scott Peck module 1.1 through 1.4 and Just Mercy's chapters 1 and 2. And then on August 26th, you should turn in a course journal. You will write about Just Mercy chapter 1 and 2. And then if there's a case assigned on the syllabus list, you will discuss the name of the case, the facts in 2 to 5 sentences, the issue in 1 or 2 sentences, and the outcome in 2 to 5 sentences. So again, this is going to be pass-fail. If you have a 3 or 5 sentence summary of that chapter of Just Mercy and your case is formatted correctly, you will pass and you'll get the full 10 points. If you don't, you will fail and you'll get no points, okay? So that is how the entire class is structured. If you have any questions on this, please let me know. Really quickly, we will jump into our course pack. So once you get in, you launch the pack and you can follow through the modules right over here. So for week 1, you are going to read through module 1.1 through 1.4. As you can see, next week is going to be working through module 1.5 through the end. So these are just how the modules are set up. The Fourth Amendment module is quite large, so we're going to be breaking it down even further than we are this first one. So I would love to hear from you with questions, concerns, comments. If you are unsure about anything, please email me, or we can make an appointment in person or via WebEx, which is essentially Skype. So I look forward to a great semester with you all, and I can't wait to get to work.